Good morning, students. In this class, we are going to see chapter 14, Transportation. Learning objectives. The learning objectives of this lesson is to know the different types of transport, to know the services of transport to business, to know the documents used in transport, and to know about common carrier. Next, introduction and meaning of transport. So, transport it helps in the smooth movement of goods from one place to another, that is, from the production place to the place of consumption, that is, to the consumer. So, it also helps in the traveling of people from one place to another place. So, what is the meaning of transport? So, the transport, if you see, it includes all the clerical, mental, and manual occupation involved in the operation of road, rail, canal, sea, and air transport. So, transport it takes place through road, rail, canal, sea, and air. And goods that is of no use unless they are made available at a place where and when they are wanted. So this transport, if you see, it is of creation of place as well as time utility, and it also removes the hindrance of place. Next, the definition given by K. Saxena. So, what he has given, the transport system acts with reference to the area it serves in the same way as a candle does in a dark room. So, he compares the transport with a candle here. So, how a candle helps in the dark room, same way the transport it acts as a system to the area in which it serves. Next heading we are going to see is types of transport. So transport system it can be classified into different ways depending upon the types of transport, the ways and the means of transport, and also the motive power used in transport. So first we'll see about the surface transport. So surface transport, that is the people and the goods they are transported by land vehicles. It is known as surface transport. It is also known as land transport. So what are all the surface transport? Pack animals, bullock carts, road transport, motor lorries and buses, tramways, railway transport. So all these comes under the land transport or surface transport. We'll see one by one. The first one, pack animals. So the animals like horse, mule, donkey, camel and elephant, all these were used to carry small loads in the backward areas, hilly tracts, forest regions and deserts, and these animals are known as pack animals. So they helped in the transport of goods. That is where the modern means of transport facilities are not available. So in those areas, these pack animals helped in transport. So animal transport has also played a very important role where there were no roads and railway transport. Next, bullock carts. So this bullock cart it plays an important form of rural road transport in India for goods traffic and to some extent for passenger traffic. So in India, if you see this bullock carts, they played an important role in the road transport that in rural areas, and it links up the villages with the nearby markets and railway stations. It carries the produce for sale to the market and consumer goods to the villages. So these bullock carts, they carry the goods as well as sometimes the that is the people also to the railway station or to the nearby markets. Road transport. Road transport is one of the most promising and potent means suitable for short and medium distances. So this road transport, it provides the transport facility for short and medium distances, and it brings a large number of people who are living in far off villages to the mainstream of the nation, like connecting them to different places. They bring the people who are living in villages to the cities and towns. So it offers a number of advantages. So there are a lot of advantages of road transport. For example, flexibility, reliability, speed, and also door to door services. So besides supplementing and increasing the efficiency of other modes of transport. So this road transport, it helps in increasing the efficiency of other modes of transport. Next, motor lorries and buses. So from the dawn of civilization, people have been endeavoring to form roads and use wheeled vehicles to facilitate transport of men and materials. So the credit of revolutionizing the road transport and introducing the elements of speed and greater carrying capacity into the system goes to motor lorries and buses. So, with the coming of motor lorries and buses, that is the speed in transport and also to carry a large number of goods, large volume of goods was undertaken by this introduction of motor lorries and buses. So introduction of petrol engine and later diesel engine vehicles have been offering good competition to the railways. Tramways. So these tramways were introduced in the 19th century and it suited big cities, and these tramways were initially horse drawn and later it used the steam power, and now it is electrically operated. And in this tramway, a huge goods can be transported. They are able to cope up with the peak hour traffic in big cities. So when there is more traffic in the big cities, these tramways were used. And with the coming of the motor buses, tramways' popularity was declined. And Madras city, the tramways were used till 1933. Next, railway transport. So, with the invention of steam engine by James Watt, it revolutionized the mode of transport all over the world. There was a great revolution in the transport system. So, railway as a mode of transport is the most organized transport undertaking all over the world. And railway, it is the cheapest and quickest means of transport, and it also helps in the carriage of bulky goods over long distances. Railways, they help in the transportation of passengers as well as goods in a bulk. So now we'll see about the advantages of railway transport. Railways are well suited for carrying heavy and bulky goods over long distance. So bulk goods, heavy goods can be carried through railways. It can provide long distance travel throughout the day and night with unbroken services. So, a continuous service can be provided by railway transport to a long distance. Next, it can provide better production and safety to the goods than motor transport. The goods generally carried in closed wagons are not exposed to sun, rain, etc. So, When compared to other motor transport, railways they provide better and safety transfer of goods. It protects the goods from sun, that is where the goods exposed to sun and rain. Fourth one, though initial investment is large, in the long run the operating expenses will be very low in railways and it will prove a cheaper mode of transport. So initially for the construction of railway tracks or the carriages, whatever it is, it requires a huge sum of money, huge amount is required. But for operating the railways, the expenses is very low, and it also provides. It is also considered to be a cheaper mode of transport. Next, it requires less time than motor transport for carrying goods for long distances with greater speed. So, uh, speed if you take, it is of greater speed, and also it takes less time to deliver the goods. Next, it has regular schedule of timing and is available throughout the year. So there are timings for the railways, and throughout the year the railway services are available. It provides unaffected services whether rainy or shiny weather conditions. So it provides unaffected services whether it is a rainy season or a shiny weather condition. It provides its services. Disadvantages of railway transport. Railway rates are relatively higher than motor transport for transporting lightweight articles over short distance. So even for transporting lightweight uh, articles, it requires high rate. They have to pay high amount when compared to motor transport. Next, it is not flexible as it is operated to particular track which cannot deviate from the set routes. So it has to be, the railways has to be travel in the routes set, that is on the tracks, and it cannot deviate from the set routes, so it is not flexible. In rural areas, it cannot offer adequate traffic because of uneconomical operating costs. So, this railways they do not provide adequate more facilities to the village side, that is in the rural areas. Next, it requires heavy investment for installation of tracks and maintenance that increases its fare on the users. So, for the that is it requires more investment for laying the tracks, for making those coaches, everything. So all these increases the fare on the users, on the public. Next, if railways are not fully utilized and if wagons and coaches are to half empty to its capacity, a heavy financial burden will be caused on the railway. So, if that is in railways, if you see, bulk goods can be transported. So, if the carriage is passengers also, if you take, and goods also, if you take, it is half loaded. So, what happens? All these burden falls, the financial burden falls on the railways. So, these are the disadvantages of railway transport. Recent trends in transportation. So there are a lot of development in transportation. So first, metro rail. Metro rail is a mass rapid transport system, that is MRTS. So it is more convenient, fast, efficient, reliable, comfortable mode of urban transport. So this rapid transport, it is also known as heavy rail, metro, subway, tube or underground railway, and it is a type of high capacity public transport. These are available in the urban areas. Next, monorail. So a monorail is also like a train, but instead of having two sets of wheels that balances on a railway track, the monorail has one rail, and it is often used to transport people in big cities. So some monorails they utilize magnets to hover on their rails, which reduces the friction between the train and the rail. The first monorail was introduced in the 19th century. Bullet train, high speed rail, is a type of rail transport that operates significantly faster than traditional rail traffic. So, it is a high speed rail, and it uses an integrated system of specialized rolling stock and dedicated tracks. So, this bullet train it was introduced in Japan in 1964, and it was called as bullet train. High speed trains they normally operate on standard gauge tracks of continuously welded rail. Next, pipeline transport. So, it is a mode of transportation of goods or materials through pipe. So, mostly the transportation takes place through pipe. So, here in pipe, liquids and gases were transported, and pipelines exist for the transport of crude and refined petroleum, fuels such as oil, natural gas, and biofuel, etc., were transported through pipelines. And sewage, slurry, and water is also transported through pipeline. And it requires heavy investment to install. That is, the initial cost of these installation of pipelines requires heavy investment. Next, conveyor transport. So it is a broad category of transport mode that includes modes developed from the idea of a conveyor belt. Example, it includes conveyor belt, two or more pulleys with a continuous loop of material that rotates about them. Escalator, elevator, which is used carrying people among floors of buildings, etc. So, example of these conveyor transport, you can give it as escalator and elevator. So, it is used to carry the people from one floor to another floor in a building. Next one is ropeway transport. So, a ropeway is another means of transport in naval lifting device. So it can be operated in the places where road construction is impractical and costly. So where that road transport is not possible and also it is very costly, there you can use this ropeway transport. So certain limit of goods or people can be transported with the help of these ropeway by using electricity. So here only limited people. Less amount of goods can be transported using this ropeway transport. Mainly in hilly remote areas, this ropeway system of transport is used. Hyperloop is a proposed system of transport that would see ports or containers travel at high level speed through a tube that has been pumped into a near vacuum. So these hyperloop they are high speeded transport system that is through a tube which has been pumped into a near vacuum. The train ports would either float using magnets levitation technology or float using air caster. Skis similar to how pucks travel across an air hockey table. With so little friction in the tunnel, the port would be able to travel at immense speed with projected top speed of 760 meter per hour. So it travels at a speed of 760 meter per hour. Hyperloop is a futuristic transport system, and tunnels for the Hyperloop would be built either above or below ground at only around 3 meter in diameter, lacking up a smaller ground footprint than traditional rail or road. So here it is built either above or below ground, and the that is at only around 3 meter in diameter. Yes, and next, Elon Musk, an entrepreneur, had proposed this mode of transport and as a fifth mode of transport in the year 2012. Students, in this class, we have seen about the different types of surface transport, and in the next class, we'll see about the water transport and air transport. Thank you, students.